Remember to put the mics on. Hey guys, welcome to ESL TV for the EPS Germany Winter 2014 League of Legends Finals. I'm Jason Kaplan, joined to me today with the lovely Love Machine.
That's
and hopefully we have some great games. Obviously it's going to be kind of crazy with the amount of action that's going to be happening, not to mention getting a little bit of a sneak peek at the teams that we'll have coming up, or at least one of the teams, into the expansion tournament. The picks and bans has actually already started into this game, so we'll show you the bracket a little bit later on once we do have a quick second, and we'll just take you straight into that here because we don't want to miss too much of it, and hopefully... Okay, I can hit the right buttons. I'm not bad, not bad
nice.
here.
Yep,
so, Wolves will be on the blue side here in a best of 3, and Faculty will be over on the red side. And we'll have Aurelia, Lucian, Zed all band away, as well as Azir, Jace, LeBlanc. But we will have Warwick, Draven, actually. Rumble picked up. And over this side, we have a Gnar, Corki, Orianna, and a Janna being sat on.
Yeah, and I mean, immediately questions have to be raised about that Warwick pick. We've kind of been discussing it ever since the patch was released, and of course the power of Warwick was made clear. But it's gonna be interesting to see how that is played out. Obviously, gonna be put into the jungle role, but I mean, the fact that they first picked it means that they're putting a lot of high priority on that.
Yeah, we saw it actually in a couple games last night. If you're watching any of the NA expansion tournament out there, worked out pretty well. Was able to solo quite a few people. Actually just hopped on top of them, obviously with the ultimate. Even with the amount of CC, a copious amount of CC, they were still able to get an insane amount of damage off the back of that. Of course, the Rumble we've seen a lot lately in that top lane now, coming back to life here. Will be a little bit tough against that Gnar, I guess. And of course, the Draven, which is the interesting pick to see it. Obviously picked up so damn early here. But of course, we will have quick picks coming in. We do see John, obviously. We do see the Corki. We see the Jarvan as the last pick. But obviously in Faculty, in just 1 week's time, they'll be in the same studio, well, probably not the same studio, but in the same building, playing as well here for their LCS careers in the expansion tournament. So obviously the question comes down to, how much are they really going to show today? How much are they really going to give away in terms of strategy? Because obviously the patch they're playing on right now is a patch they're going to be playing on as well here in 1 week's time. So they have to be very careful, and yet they want to be able to come off of a win here and have high morale, high spirits in the team going into that expansion tournament.
Yeah, it's a really tough balance to strike. I think they know that they need to win convincingly, because they're obviously for their own team confidence, but also to kind of prove to everyone that they're going to be doing well in the upcoming expansion tournament. But they also want to kind of keep a couple of races up their sleeves. So I don't think we're seeing anything particularly special here. Of course, Orianna, an incredibly safe pick in that mid lane. It's up against Ahri as well. That'll be interesting to see. And I mean, all of the surprises are really coming out of WOL at the moment.
Yeah, and of course, we are in Tournament Realm, so there's no long delay in between games. But of course, after this best of 3, we'll have Crowd Control up against Playing Ducks as our second semifinal. And of course, the winner of that will go on to play against the winner of this one for our grand finals for the chance to win 2,500 euros for the team. And of course, second place will take home 1,200. If you missed any of the action, of course, over the course of the week, you can always head over to our EPS site and check that out and always see what's been going down. I mean, you missed never mind, I don't want to kind of ruin any spoilers, but spoiler alert, you missed PKD actually winning against Mouse Sports for a second time running. So they're obviously able to be very well accomplished. But here we go, dropping into the game here in just a few seconds once I do fix the colorblind mode, because for some reason it's still super bugged out.
It's not happy.
And we'll be obviously able to kick off our first game here in just a few seconds. But Machine, come into this one. Any thoughts? Any team you're kind of just like, I'm feeling their lineup a little bit better?
Oh, I mean, and Faculty. I think when we were doing kind of reviews prior to this, we were saying that this is a team we really need to keep our eye on. Expected to probably the firm favourites for this EPS, and we're going to be interested to see whether or not WOL can really challenge them.
Yeah, very true. And as you can see, Mountain, obviously a long-time standing member within the team. Cedrin as well, obvious on top of that. I believe even Zio, the only real new man for their team. Actually, no, their 2 new players are so perfect in Zio in this one. And they even have, I believe, Movert to coach him, who's an ex-LCS player back on Dragonborn. So honestly, they have a lot of potential in their coaching, a lot of potential within their team as well. And they've always been on that cusp of breaking through into the LCS, but they might, in fact, have their chance here and finally join the other teams in that one. But obviously, it's going to come down to how are they going to do today? Again, how much are they going to show? Are they going to give away any special strategies? Because you want to hold, some things back, but you want to go into this on a high note. You want to go into that next one. Gladly on Warwick. I don't really think they're showing anything here just yet, but we'll see how this one goes.
Yep, let's see how far they get as we're reaching around 1 minute 30. You can just see no real battles around vision. Something we've been seeing an awful lot of in the previous games, just very much a kind of early vision battle, especially when you want to try and find out where the junglers are going to start. No surprises here, though. So it looks like, are the bot lane going to take the Krugs before they head to lane? I've seen it happen before. We'll see if they do it again.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of AD carry supports actually, you know, start at this kind of position. Yeah, you miss a couple of CS, but in the end, it works out because of the experience you do get from that one. But, you know, we'll see how that works out. Of course, Ahri versus Orianna, just a lane we've seen so many times as well in the past. And as well, on top of that, we're going to actually see how this one's going to work out here, because So's perfect. You know, I want to say they have the advantage in this one. They are the favorites in this one, clearly. But we're obviously going to see if they have what it takes coming into this one.
Let's find out, as of course that matchup in the top lane is going to be an interesting one. Rumble versus Gnar. And in the meantime, that bot lane, exchanges happening. Of course, Sona's such a poke-heavy champion, and when kind of partnered up with Draven, who can just chunk down the enemies with those spinning axes, it's going to be interesting to see how the Janna Corki lane faces up. Of course, they do have the power of Janna to maybe kind of reduce the damage of those spinning axes, but still, I mean, Draven as a pick, it's really interesting to see it. Not something I've seen so often.
One thing about Draven is that he's a snowball champ. The fact, you know, you stack up those adoration stacks, you get a lot of extra gold based off the CS that you get, but when you pick up that first kill, you can snowball the lane so hard because of your ability to just have so much income out of nowhere and then be able to just completely chunk down the other side. But they have sustain. One thing that Faculty does not have here in that bottom side with that Corki and that Janna, so they're going to have to be a little bit careful here on that other side.
Indeed they are, and we're going to see how that really formats. I mean, of course, the fact that we were talking about Warwick earlier, the fact that he is, of course, jungling means that basically they've got a free jungle. They've got no kind of pressure on their lanes until level 6. So N Faculty know this. Of course, having a Janna as well means that they do have a knock-up. So that bot lane's probably not going to be the target of the first gank from Blauerlino? Blauerlino, Jason? I'm going to go with that. In the meantime, you can see mid lane as well, something worth highlighting. Orianna versus Ahri. Very much a skill matchup. Ahri can play it safe if she wants to choose this to Maxi. I don't think she's going to do that, though. In the meantime, the only person really taking a lot of damage is Gnar in that top lane.
Yeah, and actually just go to the lamps for you guys at home who might not be familiar with these teams. Over on the Wolves side, we do have Anti-Hero, Blauerlino, Akayaso, Crazy Caps, Panda, and of course on the side of Faculty, we have Zio, Obvious, So's Perfect, Cedrian, and Mountain.
Yeah, lineups. Some familiar faces on the Faculty side in particular. Looks like a heavy exchange in that bot lane, but of course Corki being that caster AD carry, when he's got no mana, he's got no damage. So, as this exchange occurs, you can see CS looking pretty level, 26-22, slightly favouring Cedrian, sorry, on Corki. Cedrian. I was close enough the first time. As the first shopping has been done. Rangers Trailblazer picked up 4 J4. In the meantime, we see, I don't remember what that's called, awful bit. Forbidden Idol on Orianna.
Alright, so let's see how exactly this one works out here for this side. And obviously you want the extra movement speed to be able to run away from that Ahri when she obviously does come at you. And again, if you can hit that ball, it can be very deadly. And obviously we'll build to that Mikhail's here in just a little bit. No, sorry, not Mikhail's. Dean's and Holy Grail. Not even on Dean's, I'm just everywhere. Merlinomicon, sorry. We've seen a lot of double Merlinomicons coming out lately because of the cooldown reduction you get. It isn't a unique passive. So we've seen quite a bit of that, and it's a very strong. It's been praised by a lot of the players as well here. And Akayaso spotted out right there, but obviously we'll be able to just run away fine right now. But as you can see, coming from the backs of Obvious, won't get the slow, looking for the knock as well, but the flash is up, the charm comes in, and the flash will be forced out, but a lot of damage being done there.
It was intriguing to see how long he held on to that flag and drag. I think he was trying to wait for perhaps the charm or the flash. He did manage to force the flash, and so a successful gank there, especially for a level 4 Jarvan. Sometimes Jarvans, especially if the flag and drag is not quite connecting, it can be very difficult to force anything prior to level 6, but continues back into his jungle. We won't see his face until level 6 hits. Now, Jason, what your opinion? This Wolf Smite, we've just seen it happen there. It's intriguing to me how well it can really be, how relevant it can be in the early game. I mean, it's a ward, yes, it's a mobile ward, yes, but I mean, I'm not expecting to see Warwick anytime soon in their jungle. No,
it was just kind of a opportunistic smite. It's like, why not? He had nothing else to really clear. He smites on a pretty low cooldown because of the Hunter's Trailblazer, so kind of like, let's just take what we can. Maybe a little bit of extra safety from it nonetheless. But as you're mentioning, Warwick, he's level 5. Blauerlino just trying to farm up here with 26 CS. Already building up his items as well here, as you see his Skirmisher Saber now being bought up. And it boosts some mobility, so He's trying to get around the map really quickly. And if you compare, the two junglers in terms of, experience, Warwick about 75% of the way through, and Jarvan about 75% as well here. But Jarvan's been able to gank in that middle lane. So like you were saying before, I was able to apply a lot more pressure on Jarvan than Warwick can pre-6. But once we hit level 6, like, if you imagine, Orianna, how's she going to escape if you see a Warwick ultimate into a Charm? Bottom lane, same thing onto a Janna, or the Corki can obviously be cleared off by the Janna, and Gnar on the top lane can be very difficult. So it just comes down to, can he make these ganks successful? And we're going to need to see some pink wards and some sweeping lenses to really allow this to happen.
Yeah, and look at the health bars in that bot lane. It's interesting. So Banda and Crazy Cap still sticking around, even though, well, perhaps they just think Siddarin's got nothing. Low health low mana Corki, sorry, is just not really a threat for this bot lane. Of course, they do have that slight sustain, but Sona's mana bar is almost entirely empty, and so that sustain is going to come to an end. In the meantime, looks like Warwick's making a move for the mid lane.
Yeah, let's see if he can go in and make this one happen. As you can see, level 6 now. We're going to be Jarvan coming as well, so it's going to be a 2-on-2 duel here. And will they turn around? They have to for Ahri's sake because she has nothing available here. And they pop the smite on top of Obvious, takes an insane amount of damage. The teleport going to come in as well. First blood goes over to Ahri. And now you're trying to see So's perfect run away from this one with anti-hero coming in. Equalizer coming down, slowing her, and the flash as well. They'll pick up a second kill. Further troubles right there. And that is a fantastic early start here for the Wolves.
Yeah, and the Wolves howling with pride as Warwick goes to recall as well. 2 for 0. Not bad at all. And of course, that's going to start tipping the scales of that gold lead. 11 to 10,000. So just about, just under 1,000 gold lead. As you see, Zeo didn't manage to do too much with the lack of Rumble in his lane, trying to pressure on that wave. But of course, Rumble just spits fire and clears any sort of presence in that top lane.
Nice for him pretty well, considering it's a little bit difficult to obviously last down a turret when you do use that flame spitter. So he's doing a pretty good job. 54 to 56. Not to mention he got the kill as well now under his belt. And you think about how this game's going. Ahri finished out the Morella's Nalmakan. I had it right the first time. And then from the other side, So's perfect. Doesn't have his done just yet. So the cooldown are actually going to be huge when it comes down to this fighting and that dueling in that middle lane. And you're seeing anti-hero and Zao go head-to-head where Zao's not taking too much damage anymore. He's able to finally trade back a little bit.
Yep, that Giant's belt under his belt, as it were. Just going to be giving him that extra health pool that he needs to be able to trade out with Rumble. Of course, you mentioned Morella Nomicon. It's actually interesting that Morella Nomicon is becoming such a highly favored item. I don't know how it tastes. Maybe it does. It's flavored as well. But in the meantime, we can see a Jarvan presence in that top lane, and Obvious is making a whole lot of moves in this top lane. Let's see where this one goes.
Yeah, good engagement by them, realizing that he had no flash available since he used it mid lane, punishing him accordingly, and they give that kill over to Obvious to get him a little bit strong, a little bit tankier that they're going to need when it comes into this mid to late game, especially when you can see that Blaulino, he ulted him last time in that little gank middle, took him down 75% of his health just from an ultimate plus smite combo. So obviously that will help out quite a bit here. And now obviously down towards the bottom side, we're seeing Panda, we're seeing as well as his teammate Crazy here. Down about 20 CS, but again, it comes down to, can he get those adoration stacks consumed? And we see a little bit of engage here, and he's taking a lot of damage.
He's taking a whole lot of damage. I don't think he's going to be anything too serious as the rocket does just whisk past him. And he's going to be living to just stack away.
Warwick's coming down from the river, though. He has been started up by a ward. Looks like he will just wrap around towards Tribush, though, and back away from this. So this is what we were talking about before. Like, if Warwick wants to be successful, which, I mean, he already has 2 assists, so he already has been pretty successful. They need to clear a lot of vision around this map. They need to make sure he can just run into a lane without being seen. His flash is down since he used it last time in mid lane to save Ahri. And we're going to see if he can maybe make it happen anytime soon. Yep,
we'll see where that one goes. Of course, Warwick, now he's 6, he should be able to kind of exert some sort of pressure on the map. Haven't seen too much of it other than in the mid lane as of yet, but remains to be seen. This Ahri-Orianna matchup going as really expected. Pretty much a farm lane, you can see 86 to 80. Only kills really occurring when the junglers show their faces in the mid lane. In the meantime, though, that top lane matchup starting to favor Gnar, especially he's picked up that Hex Drinker. And now, thoughts on building a Hex Drinker so early? That's an item that's been forced out by anti-hero.
Well, that and also the Ahri mid lane. I mean, it's double AP comp. Warwick does a lot of ability power damage as well. So build a Hex Drink, build a magic resist in there, a little bit of damage as well. And just like you mentioned, he's starting to build up a little bit of lean CS, but he invested fully into tank off the get-go with the Giants build. So obviously expect him to kind of stay equal. You see Anti here trying to counter him with obviously that Seeker's Arm Guard. So just a little bit of standard play here on that top side so far. But I would imagine Zao, obviously with that assist he got under his belt, maybe if Obvious wants to gank that top lane yet again, they could provide him another kill or two and really build up that lead that he already has going for him. Yeah,
and leads are so important in this patch. You're absolutely spot on. I mean, in 420, it's so snowbally. The new Drakes, the new everything makes it just so important to secure an early lead. In the moment, the lead is very minimal. 200 gold separating these two teams. As once again, this bot lane just kind of seems to be brawling it out. There's very little structure to this, but here comes the pain. Sona has started the brawl.
Crescendo goes off, the teleport comes in as well, and here comes Zao from the side, gets the knockback almost into the wall here to Panda, but Ari is joining the party, getting very low and exhausted up right away here. Zao getting charmed back in, but he should be fine. They even have now Obvious coming around the backside to help out here. But that Crescendo, the balls he played at Panda, trying to make a play happen. Considering they're already up 2-1, about 300 gold difference. It's not a bad play, but now we can see Zao obviously giving the vision over to the other side with that Warwick Bloodlust over onto Drake here. And Warwick doesn't have flash up. They can't even steal this one, so good call.
Look how fast that dragon fell. Pinkward, of course, is ensuring their safety. And first dragon has fallen. That's going to give them that. It is still 8%. I know there were some changes, but I'm pretty sure the first one remains.
Yeah, so they do obviously have that little bit of a buff here. And obviously now, yeah, this is on 420, not 421.
Okay, I was going to say, yeah.
So it's all pretty standard what they've been playing in the past. But still, you know, obviously the early dragon isn't worth as much, but it was an opportunistic one. It's like, hey, we forced you to fight bottom side. We forced your major forms of ultimates down, your CC as well. Let's just go for dragon, pick it up easily, and start to build up a little momentum when it comes to that. And obviously, you don't really see any gold difference in that. I mean, you see they're down for, what, 400 gold now, so they're actually behind an extra 100 gold from all of this, but they have the buff more importantly, and that's really going to start to snowball this game.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. And of course, we were talking about Gold League just before, and they've already started to grow that one a little bit, but still so minor. In terms of items, though, let's see what they're actually spending those coins on. See, of course, that Marinomcon has been joined by the Fiendish Codex for Ari.
Well, down the bottom lane, though, we do see Warwick looking for a gank here. Maybe trying to come in. He does have flash available. He does have the speed buff as well from Sona here if he wants, and his flash available. So let's see. Will he go for it? I mean, if he locks it onto Janna, most likely will go down from this one, but of course, a well-placed, you know, Howling Gale could knock him away, even the Monsoon. And Warwick committing a lot of time. The Crescendo's almost up, though, and it seems like he wants to wait this one out, potentially.
I think it makes sense. I think, you know, the Panda needs to land a very good Crescendo. Does have flash, of course, to secure it. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not Warwick's going to be kind of on his way back round. Perhaps he went for a camp, and now he's coming back, and he's coming back fast.
Let's see, Crescendo now at flash up as well here for Panda. Warwick just buying his time here. He's obviously on the other side, they're being really passive here because they know Warwick's ultimate's up. They know the gank is imminent. They're just all about, can we prevent him from securing a kill from this one? Because if they stop him from snowballing, they'll have a very strong team. I mean, the whole ball delivery system with Jarvan or even Gnar can just decimate this team. They have a couple different forms of CC, the flag and drag, you have the Gnar knockback, you have the Janna Monsoon and the Howling Gale to get Warwick out of his ultimate, just whether or not you can get him off quick enough to stop his major damage.
Yeah, and he does put a huge amount of damage down in such a short space of time. Of course, talking of damage, you can see the tons of it has been picked up by Corki as the Triforce shows itself once more. Infinity Edge for his opponent. Crazy is going the pretty standard Draven build. He's just going to be looking to chunk you down with those enhanced auto attacks. So, as they look to be pushing towards mid lane, 3 versus 1. I think Soz Perfect knows he's in trouble with a Shockwave. Pits 2 of them. They're going hard, though, and they're not going home. 2 ultimates burned already. Ari's going to have to back away, but does manage to take Orianna with him. The tower is going to fall as well, though, and so pretty solid performance as they just need to get away from this Jarvan. Here comes the pain, though.
Looking for the slow here, looking for the knock-up as well. We'll have the rev up, we'll go straight into Panda, but teleport coming out of Rumble here. We'll be able to join the party and help out. His Equalizer is down because he just used it top lane, but Cataclysm going in, locking up both of them as Corki now making his way through Sedge and looking for the kill on the anti-hero. He should be able to pick that up here, and that will actually go Obvious's way as he steals it with the flag. And now Blalino not going to escape this one, and a great counter gank coming here from End Faculty.
Solid performance. That is the issue. They went a little too deep. I think Akeso was going to be maybe regretting his decision. The flash as well as... No, sorry, he wasn't the flash. It was Sona who flashed forward as well as Akeso's ultimate. Just seemed like a bit of a kind of all or nothing. And, well, he got something, but it wasn't enough.
Well, it all started from the Ornna Shockwave. Because he hit it so perfectly, it pulled 3 of them together and stopped it. So obviously Warwick flashed past and hit the ultimate. but it kept Sona, and it kept obviously Ari away from him in the meantime. So he didn't take that much damage while he's locked down. Like, that should have been a clean kill coming in for Wolves, but it's a great play out of Stills Perfect to stop that. And of course, you see the re-engage come in, obviously having Janna come in, obviously trying to stall for some time while we had Cedric come up from that bottom lane and able to pick up 2 more kills off the back of that. So obviously, you can see, able to pull ahead in gold, now 400 gold difference, and they have a kill lead as well here as they're about to hit that 17-minute mark.
Yeah, kills and gold favoring them, and we'll see if N-Faculty can pull any further ahead. Of course, towers are level. I think objectives, again, highly important, as they always have been, but we can see just that only the top turret has fallen for the side of N-Faculty, and I mean, I feel like mid is probably the best bet. Oh, as I say that, they look to be going to the drawing board, trying to think about perhaps what they're going to be approaching in this one.
Yeah, not sure exactly what's going on. Apparently there's a mouse problem, as you can see on your screen, for Akayaso. I mean, I'm hoping I'm saying that name correctly, but I'm pretty sure I'm not.
Akaso. I think it's Akaso. That sounds legitimate.
As you can see on your screen now, the N-Faculty guys, Mountain right there. I remember back in the day I actually got his name wrong. I thought another person on the team was Mountain. But if you look at him in real life, I mean, you see his biceps, you see how tall he is, then you know he is the Mountain for his team. But, you know, obviously N-Faculty, again, trying to be careful. They don't want to show their hand just yet. Remember, this is the team who is playing next week in the expansion tournament for the chance to get in towards the LCS. And you can see our lovely admins behind them trying to make sure his mouse is working. And it looks like it might have broke. That's unfortunate for him. And obviously not playing with your crit peripherals can really mess with you mentally.
Oh,
it can mess with you
so much.
Yeah.
And just I mean, even the wrong, height of chair can throw you off sometimes, especially when, I mean, some of these players aren't particularly used to this environment, and so when you put them into this kind of new place, this new kind of gaming area or arena, and it makes so much of a difference. I remember my first LAN quite fondly just being sat there like, this just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right, man. Because I'd be sat there on a chair like, this isn't right height, this desk is a little bit different.
See, if Lauren was here right now, if Pans was here, she would just say, you're making excuses, right?
Yeah, probably.
But I believe you.
Oh,
Same thing happens to me too.
It's a legitimate thing.
If my legs are crossed the wrong way, like at home, I have to rest my arm on my knee while I play like this. If it's like crossed the wrong way, it throws me off.
People can't see this on camera, but Jason's giving us a fantastic demonstration.
I gotta do like this, because like
That's
my desk.
Interesting.
My desk is higher.
I want to try that.
So if I rest my arm like this, it hurts my arm, but I have to rest my arm on my knee, and then I can play correctly.
That is impressive. That hurts me. Ow. Gymnastics in the studio.
Well, I mean, you used to play rugby, so you've got like bigger legs than I have.
These legs are just from walking to and from studio.
You could crush a watermelon between your thighs, I think.
I think so. I think that's a compliment, question mark. Yeah, I think so.
Take it as you want it.
There's N-Faculty, of course, just taking this time to prepare. Right now, I think they're going the right way. I don't think there's any particular issues in their build. I think their strategy and comp favors the late game with that Gnar, who's actually going to be going kind of a tanky, but with a kind of a lick of AD. Of course, Hextring Grand Pickaxe already picked up for him. So interesting to see where that build path takes him. And kind of going up against him, of course, that Rumble. A Rumble, I mean, where do Rumble's power spikes lie?
It's like level 4.
So it's early. So
well,
early.
In the lane phase, he spikes at like level 3 or 4, I believe. Once you get like 2 points in your Flame Spitter, and then obviously it depends. Like they don't have the team. Well, okay, let me rephrase that because I got to think about it. Because obviously with a Rumble, you think of like a Jarvan combo. You think of the Cataclysm into the Equalizer, so you lock them down inside of that because the Equalizer is like one of the highest damage ultimates per second if you can land it. Actually, if you land it appropriately and hit it over the entire course of the team, kind of thing. But you have a team that can engage easily. You have a Sona with Crescendo and Flash. You have a Draven has its own speed up. You have Sona who gives a speed up to the whole team. You have Ahri ultimate. You have her charm as well. You have a Warwick who can flash in with boots and mobility, and not to mention the blood scent. You have Rumble. Now this is the key thing. Rumble can stop your other team from disengaging by putting an Equalizer behind you, so it forces you to go into the team to fight, right? But the other side, you look at what they have. They have a Gnar who can jump over it. You have a Jarvan who can jump over it. You have Orianna who can do decent disengage if she hits ultimate correctly. You have a Corki who can obviously Valkyrie away. And you have a Janna who can just monsoon the entire enemy team back. So you have a nice engaged team versus a nice disengaged team. And that Janna alone, once they saw the Warwick, once they saw the Rumble picked up, knew that was like, all right, this is going to be pretty easy for us to just kind of stop your engage. And as long as they stop that Warwick ultimate, Like, they're counting on the Wolves to hit a work ultimate into a charm or vice versa into a crescendo. Like, they need to lock down one person, burst them quickly with what Draven can do, with what Warwick can do, and then go from there. And it's just all about whether or not they can make that happen. And obviously on the other side, they want to be able to do that wombo combo. But as long as they just stall the fights and last long enough, they don't really need to hit that wombo combo to be successful.
You're absolutely spot on. I think both teams have that combo you've already highlighted, but we'll see as we are finally back on into game. As I mean, the Orianna, whenever I see an Orianna, I do just get excited because, I mean, I've seen game-ending shockwaves, and it'd be great to see some fantastic performances, of course, from Soz Perfect. It's actually Purefect. Are we calling him Purefect?
I call him Perfect.
Okay, he's going to have to be perfect then. In the meantime, looks like the battle for vision continues. Mountain just doing fantastic work with his pink wards, clearing out the river. And of course, when there's only 1 minute until Drake, river vision is so crucial, and that Scuttle Crab is yet to be slain.
Yeah, no point in doing it right now. Actually, this would probably about like 20 seconds would be the perfect time to do it. Obviously, have that speed buff, so if you do go for Dragon, you can use it as a pivot point to rotate into a fight very, very quickly. Or if you're on the other side, you can use it to kind of spot out when Dragon's be done. It's a free ward for you, can't be taken away. And obviously, that Scuttle Crab should be killed soon here. But look at this. Obvious, he's set up for a gank on the bottom side because if he makes this kill happen, they can transition straight into a Dragon. And also, you have Zai who's shoving the lane top side because he has a teleport. He can join them bottom side.
This is going to be one hell of a ride. Obvious knows that he has to make this happen fast. Of course, 20 seconds until that Drake comes up. Crazy Caps and Panda not going to overextend at all, though. They know the risk, and they know, of course, that they do have that safety net of a Warwick sitting behind them, growling fiercely. Nothing going to connect just yet, though.
Obviously, he's waiting for his moment to go in here, and Zio's still shoving that top lane, and you even have Anti-Hero to rotate down towards Dragon potentially as he's kind of making his way through. But either way, they force them back. They don't really have to go for Dragon. They can still just poke from range, but again, they have to be careful of that hard engage. And Zio looks like he might just go back to base, buy up here that Frozen Mallet he actually was able to build up with. And Dragon, it has been started.
Yeah, they've given it a go. It's already down to about half HP, but immediately just backing away as they see the Rumble arrives. You'll already highlighted just the power an Equalizer can possess. Especially, I mean, yeah, they've got a crescendo. They have so much in their arsenal that can kind of power on top of the Equalizer. So it's going to be interesting to see as these two teams play kind of back and forth. They're not really wanting to commit too much as they're just spread out along this river, getting their feet wet, and they're going to have to back away.
You see the Scuttle Crab as well here, picked up for the Wolf side, so obviously they can kind of leave that area if they need to. And since they're kind of like an engaged kind of composition, they can just obviously use that Scuttle Crab for an extra bit of speed, extra bit of hard engage here. Zio going to be rotating back towards that top side here. And Dragon's still not going to be done, it looks like, anytime soon, unless Wolves want to force a fight. But you can see both teams really hesitant to go for the fight. I feel like in Faculty, our opponents went a little bit better, a little bit safer, a little bit more calm and cautious. And they realize, you know, in this next Dragon, if they can pick up the second stack, you know, obviously the extra damage to minions, they can deny the extra, you know, 8% AD and AP to the other side, which is the most important thing. And now they're forcing Anti-Hero to go back towards that top lane. His teleport's almost up, though, so if they want to force a Dragon, then Faculty should do it now while he doesn't have teleport available, and Zio can join the party.
And party it will be. Of course, that Drake's still live, and we're going to be interested really to see what Obvious's plans are. I think I've been very pleasantly surprised by Obvious's jungling so far. Of course, they're sat on a ward, and they don't know it. But the enemy team are going to be on their way. Akeso at the front of that one, though. He has the potential to do something, but it's going to be very little as they're ready. The knockup comes in. He's going to have to force the ult away. In the meantime, though, the top lane is won out by Zio, but the Drake is going to fall as well. So strong continuation as the crescendo almost completely misses. And here comes Warwick. This is a bloodbath.
Damage just going through, even with the disengage coming out of Mountain right there. And the flash coming at So's perfect over the wall on top of that, trying to go for the kill here. And that will be another one. Zio able to help pick up a kill here, and Panda, he's dead as well. The flash knocked back into the wall. Panda,
wow.
You're almost extinct now with how many times you've died, which is only once because there's not many Pandas left in the wild. But still, we had actually Zio pick up a 1v1, and we're going to actually showcase that in a few seconds just to kind of show you how damn easy it was for him. It wasn't difficult at all. And well, we do obviously have nothing really happening there. We'll go and switch over to my screen really quick and just kind of show you exactly what happened in this one. And as you can see, this is set up right before Dragon. Like, we'll just pause right here. As you can see, Dragon being done, and obviously Zio knows they have to rotate down to try to stop it. And with the Frozen Mount he just picked up, watch how easy this is for to kill him. Like, you're not running away from this ever.
You can't run away from it now.
Like, you're just gonna die. Period. picks up an easy kill, teleports down a little bit later on, and joins the party. As you can see, just waiting for his moment to go in. But it was just so well done, so easy for them. And again, that is what, 7-4 scoreline now here.
Yeah, and in fact, he's starting to pull away. The gold lead is as well 2,000 gold, 2,000 extra pennies in their pockets, as they're going to be looking to perhaps push this advantage while they still have it. Of course, the buyers have gone in once more, and Oriana picked up a needlessly large rod alongside a blasting one, so she's going Rabadon. She wants AP fast, as they're going to be grouping to push down this mid turret. Of course, we've already highlighted before the kind of poor performance from Panda, actually missing a crescendo on 4 people, didn't manage to connect onto 1, and so with that on cooldown, they know that they have a little bit of a window to pressure this mid lane. Of course, the wave clear seems to be enough to stave off this push for now, but we'll see for how long.
Yeah, the wave clear is going to be a little bit tricky now, because obviously in Faculty they have the second Dragon stack, they have the extra damage to minions, 15%, and all they really have to wave clear right now is just this Ahri with her Orbs of Deception, which isn't going to be really enough here, because this turret eventually will fall. It's going to force Anti-Hero to have to be there as well, but the problem comes into this. Anti-Hero, he's not tanky. Draven, he has no real wave clear when it comes to this, once he uses ultimate. So Anti-Hero, if he wants to go for last hits, he has to get close to the minions. If he's going to do that, he's going to be very vulnerable to being killed, because of the amount of damage the other side does have here. And look at that, obvious, maybe trying to come in for the backside here on the Anti-Hero. He's going to have to get this turret. Equalizer going to come out to block them off here, and Zao just going to hop away over it. Again, this is exactly what we're talking about. They have ways to get over that Equalizer, so even if they do get engaged on, they can get a nice, easy disengage.
When you have a Janna, you have got to disengage. It's as simple as that. One of the strongest supports when it comes to just disengaging from fights that they don't want to fight. It looks like Na's about to go big and nasty. In fact, no, he's just been. As it's going to be interesting to see. This wave clear is. I mean, I can't see it favoring them anytime soon. Yes, the wave is finally making it to that turret, but they need to sort of cause a fight, because all the case is going to do is going to throw a Q and a charm down that lane, and that wave is going to evaporate. Only 2 minions remain, as a couple of auto attacks are exchanged, but still, you can see Faculty most definitely in the driving seat at the moment. They're
eventually going to take this turret.
Like, oh yeah, time.
You see Anti-Hero sit back really far because he realizes it's really risky for him to get close to the wave, or he will just get completely blown up. Like, you're not going to escape a frozen mallet, so you're going to force to summon out of him a flash to get away, and then what are you going to do for the next wave that, obviously arrives at your turret? So you can see the turret falling very, very quickly here. Have to just hit a couple more times, but Faculty, I feel like they're trying to bait out a fight here. They're trying to force a fight, realize that the Equalizer's down, the crescendo they know is available, but there we go. One more hit on the turret, and that will have dropped.
And there it is, another turret falls. That's 4-1 now, and Faculty, they're doing exactly what we expected them to when they get that small lead, and they just push where it hurts constantly, and they're going to keep pushing. They know it's working, and they're just going to continue to apply pressure until there's an answer provided by the Wolves, and the Wolves at the moment are not howling as loudly as they perhaps did in the early game.
Yeah, they had a good start. I mean, if you think about how it, all kicked off, they had 2 kills to 0. Ahri was able to pick up a kill. Lina was able to help out as well. And yeah, even with that first blood, they weren't really able to transition it to, really into much. And that's just kind of the bad side of their composition. Like, yeah, they have hard engages. They want to fight. Like, they want picks, right, in the beginning. But how much did Warwick actually gank in terms of, well, successful ganks? He had one middle, which is a counter, and that was it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Blaulino, picking a champion like Warwick means you basically, when that ultimate is up, you need to be in a lane. You need to be trying to make something happen, applying pressure. But, I mean, the fact that Faculty got so far ahead so early, that meant that there was very little lanes that he felt comfortable ganking.
I'd say it's partially his fault, but I think it's... the majority of it isn't, because the other team, in fact, has just started playing safe. Like you saw, they could have pushed up bottom when Warwick was just waiting on the sidelines, but they knew he's probably around here somewhere. Obviously hasn't shown up in another lane in any time soon, so they played it really safe. They realized if we just get out of this laning phase without being too much of a deficit, then we will have the mid game, and that's kind of what they're showing right now.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. You're right. They're kind of knowing when to fight and when not to. It seems to be Faculty's strength at this moment. Wolves not really in a similar position. It seems that all Faculty have to do is kind of show up in a lane and Wolves back away. So shying away from almost all of the fights at the moment. Of course, this could be kind of make or break for them. 20 seconds until that Drake appears, and we're going to see, as of course the battle for vision can start off, who's going to take this one. Actually, Faculty not showing too much interest in Drake at the moment.
Yeah, they don't really need to. I mean, yeah, the third buff would be nice with the movement speed, but the thing is, how much gold does Dragon really give you right now? Well, it doesn't really give you anything unless you killed it, and that's even a substantially reduced amount. So they're more than happy to start to push the turrets a little bit. Obviously, had a little bit of time to go for Dragon, and they had started to group up for it. They even pulled down their top laner as well here. It was actually trying to be 1v1'd by Crazy Caps. But you can see Dragon falling very quickly. And here we go. The Equalizer come down, cut them off completely.
Yeah, they're gonna struggle to get through that one. Mountain's going low, forced to push the enemy team away, but in the meantime, Warwick's doing what he does best. Exhaust coming in, perhaps a little too late though, as already Rumble has picked up the Dragon, looking to add a couple of heads though, as they're not on them towards Zio, but Zio has the Hex Trigger. He is Mega Gnar, and he is taking such a beating. Finally, one for the enemy team. It's already a 3-for-2 exchange, looking to extend it. He does. Admiration stacks galore. In the meantime, he's gonna fall for his troubles as Panda is left to fend for himself, and he's gonna do no such thing. It's a 5-for-3 exchange, and the entire Wolf side has crumbled.
And that, the distraction, I mean, that Dragon easily could have been picked up, but I think Obvious just looked away for a split second there and just kind of completely forgot about it. Like, he had his Smite still available, Dragon was sitting at 100 HP, and Rumble just walks in and was just like more than happy to say, hey, I'll just snatch it away from you. And
look at that Dragon Pit.
Just littered with bodies.
That is just, you can see what's happened as the remaining couple of bodies do disappear. But I mean, that was a massacre.
Let's actually take a look at the fight again really quickly here for
break
you guys
it down
at
for
home.
us, Jason.
If I can try to break it down. As you can see, so Obvious, he's in a bad position right here. I guess I'll put my little audio in. You can see he's in a bad position. And you try to decide, like, how do I go? Do I get out this way? There's Panda there, I have to be careful. Mountain pops the ultimate a little bit early, trying to keep Blalino away from the Dragon so he can get, so Obvious can obviously lock it down. But here we go. The Smite comes in, ultimate as well, locks it down completely with the damage from the Dragon. And Mountain's still just obviously not healing him up really at all because of the ultimate being in a really weird position. But here we go. So you see Dragon at 600 HP, 100 HP. He has Smite up. Blalino doesn't. But instead of spiting it, he actually tries to get a flag and drag through it and tries to escape a little bit. Mountain now kind of getting caught off in the back side of the pit here. And then we see, of course, Zio. He gets an amazing ultimate onto Blalino and Akasayo into the wall here. Locks them both up. And allows Sedgen just to walk in and be like, hey, free kills for me. Picks up that one. Picks up an anti-hero as well. You see Crazy flush over the wall trying to pick up a couple kills. He actually picks up Sedgen here and picks up Mountain. And he almost stays alive because of the healing coming from Sona from the side. But Obvious comes back to the party, gets a double knock-up, stops him from auto-attacking, and doesn't allow him to clean up those kills. So really interesting fight. And obviously breaking down for the Faculty side, picking up, well, majority of the kills in the end. Yeah, they lose Dragon. But in the long scheme of things, it really isn't that much.
No, and of course, Faculty already boasting 2 stacks of Dragon, then we're looking for that third next time it's up. But I mean, winning out that team fight is going to put them once again, further ahead in gold. This time 45,000 to just 43. So 2,000 gold separating these two teams. And in the meantime, we'll see where that gold's being spent. You can see Rabadon's finally completed by Soz Perfect or Pure Effect, whatever you fancy. And of course, the Gnar build, which we've seen very, very strong already. Seemed to be so tanky. And of course, I mean, you have Frozen Mallet, Randuin's, and a Spectre's Cowl. Of course, you're going to be pretty tanky. Favoring Magic Resist over Armor, with, of course, Hex Drinker and Cowl, as well as Merc Tread. So it's going to be interesting to see, I mean, the reasons behind that, perhaps scared of Ahri. But I mean, looking over that lineup.
Double AP.
Well, I mean, yeah, Rumble, yeah, you're absolutely spot on. But Anti-Hero, at the moment, sat on measly 2 for 5. He's only got his Leandries really sat completed in his bag. And his Equalizers have left a little bit to be desired as well. Yeah,
they've been a little bit off, but it's been miscommunication whether they want to engage. Now Blalino getting caught out, flash over the wall.
Yeah, and Obvious just exerting pressure as much as he can. That's a 5-minute cooldown forced.
That's huge though. Like that's make it. So if you think about the distance Warwick can cover, right? His ultimate gets him about a flash distance. And a flash plus his ultimate gets him obviously double. So you think about, you just cut his distance to engage into your backline in half. Like that's a big win for them. And one thing I do want to mention about that Dragon, like, yeah, Obvious could have had the Dragon, but picking up the Ace in the end was worth it a little bit more. Like, yeah, they gave away the 8% AD AP, right? But as long as they don't let them get a second buff, they don't let them get the wave clear one, then they still can potentially siege away these turrets pretty easy. As they're seeing, they're keeping the wave shut back right now, but they're having to commit to being really far away from the turret and having anti-hero again really far in the front. And look at the damage Ahri can do just with one quick combo. I feel like it's just a matter of time if they're able to push down some turrets here or maybe go for a favorable engage.
I think you're right. Matter of time. I think they know the clock's against them. Wolves trying to find, perhaps, I mean, an answer. I don't think sitting around in their jungle just taking Raptors when it's up is really the answer, but they're on the back foot at the moment, and while they search for an answer, and Faculty are just going to get stronger.
The thing is, Sedgen invested into a QSS now, so Mountain obviously doesn't have to worry about his AD carry to keep him alive. You can obviously just pop out of the ultimate with that one. And that means now Soz Perfect is the only that really has to worry about himself, but relatively tanky, especially if he finishes that zone, is he can just wait. Obviously has to worry about ultimates now, as long as he doesn't get bursted from that one. And again, he has so many people on his team that can't support him. So obviously Faculty, they're building up a lead. About 3,000 gold here. They're still taking the time. Looks like they might be waiting for another dragon here, as you can see, coming up in about a minute's time. And that third one would be really nice when it comes down to, you know, disengaging or engaging for these fights.
Yeah, 5% movement speed across the board. Very, very strong. Especially when you have a lead already, it just gives you that extra bit of advantage to both force team fights, which of course we've seen Faculty kind of favoring and wanting to do already, as well as of course being able to disengage in fights that are kind of a little uninspiring. And of course, when you have an Orianna with that shockwave in combination with the Flag and Drag Jarvan, I mean, there's team fights you want to force, and you have the potential to do that. So it's going to be interesting to see if Wolves are going to kind of get caught out once more by Faculty. But at the moment, it's just a kind of vision battle, trying to clear out any vision around both Drake and, of course, Baron.
And it looks like Wolves will be able to get control of that one with the Scuttle Crab being killed. And that permanent ward there for a little bit longer. And they're still playing it really aggressive, considering like they're still pushed out really far away from their turrets. And they have a lot of damage, but if the Wombo combo hits, like, Crazy will instantly die to a combo out of So's Perfect, as long as he hits it and Crazy doesn't flash. And even if you do force a flash out of him, that's going to be on such a long cooldown that the ultimate Orianna will be back up again and can just do it a second time over. So here we go, Dragon now alive. And in fact, he getting set up, a couple of wards pushed in deep, trying to get that vision control. And they know Balino doesn't have flash, so as long as they position their AD carry and their AP carry down towards the southeast side, they can't be engaged on.
There's nothing they can do. Draven throwing out his ultimate as an attempt, kind of stab in the dark almost. But now Zio looking to do something. He's got the ball swirling around him, and he knows he has the potential to cause a lot of damage. He's been given a speed boost, been given the ball, but the charm says no. As Flack and Drag coming in towards Ari, this is going to get messy.
Oh, great. Shadow comes in on a 3, though, and So's Perfect gets very low. He gets dropped actually right away before his ultimate can even be used here. And Wolves might be able to pull out ahead in this fight here. Bloodlino going head-to-head against Obvious. Akasayo just kind of running away off to the side, as you can see. And that will be a 1-for-2 trade in favor of the Wolves. And I have to break that down. Obvious messed up that ultimate. He went onto the Ari with his ultimate after one charge was already used. So it's like he didn't force the ultimate out of her because it was already used at the time. And yet he got completely just mind-gamed on that one, and that could have been so much better to go into the back line against Crazy Caps to force a flash. But now Panda going down, they're still going for the chase here.
They're doing their very best, and of course Sidoran is on Corki. Those rockets are going to be coming out thick and fast. There's one. In fact, he's looking for a second as well, as Crazy is running away with low mana and health. Corki going for the flash, looking to do some heavy damage. He's already got the machine gun going. The summoner heal has been used, but he does pop him to add a second head and add a double kill. It's 10-17 now. And Faculty, they kind of soften the damage that was done in that team fight. It was looking pretty weak for them, but coming back to clean up.
I'm really surprised that Wolves let that happen at the end. Like, to lose 3 people that you didn't really need to when you already won the fight 2-for-1. And now they might potentially lose it on Baron. As you can see, dropping very, very quickly here. Warwick not in a position to help out. He's actually towards the bottom lane right now, trying to clear out the wave with Rumble. And now this will be in Faculty having that 5-man Baron, having the ability to push in with this one and have those stronger minions. And again, not having the second buff of Dragon here for Wolves is going to be a huge downfall.
Huge downfall indeed. Now, of course, they consolation prize to Wolves is they have managed to close the gap a little bit on turrets, 3-4 now, but the gold still extending. 5,000 this time is the advantage sat in the hands of Faculty. And now with the Baron buff, they just need to wait for a wave and group up and push it. Now, would you suggest, of course, with Zio with that TP, are we going to see a split? We're going to see a 4-man push with a kind of Gnar presence in bot lane, as it looks to be perhaps starting to form?
I'm not sure, because it's still being developed, the meta, in terms of having that Baron buff, having the hand-up Baron buff onto the minions. We can see a little bit of a push come in.
What was that?
So's Perfect hitting the wrong button, but there was a potential gank coming in as we had a 2-man squad grouped up towards the Raptor side. But, you know, it looks like they will leave Zao to kind of split push and have the teleport in. It's really hard for anyone to stop him 1v1. But in terms of the long run, you know, of how split pushing is going to work, we could potentially see, you know, a 1-3-1 or a 3-1-1 kind of thing where you have 3 people grouped up with a good disengage and you have 2 split pushers, so you can shove down so many waves and force so much pressure. I mean, if you think about it, look at that Candy Minion. He's not being touched with a turret, he's not being touched by the enemy team. If you can do that in every lane, then you're easy to take an insane amount of turrets down, and look at that, Zao able to push on the bottom turret without anyone to stop him.
Yep, no one can stop him.
And he's still going.
Well, of course he can do. That's the power of this Baron buff. He's got an enhanced wave alongside him. Finally, Antihero makes an appearance, but in the meantime, you can see that mid lane's going to be pushed in as well. Another turret falls, and they're going to keep pushing. There's nothing to stop them at this moment in time, and Faculty need to do their best. And of course, you can see Crazy just resorting to clearing a wave with his ultimate, but he can't clear everything. That enhanced kind of minion just sitting quite happily Do you think that's the same one?
Yeah, I think it is. Antihero can't stop him in the bottom side either because he can't get in range without being poked down. You're going to see right here, he just turns around and starts to poke him. Obviously, it's a bad time switching into his ultimate form, whatever, but every time Antihero tries to clear the back wave, he's just going to be auto-attacked over and over and over again by Zio, and he's going to go down eventually. So that bottom lane, they need to send someone else down there, but they can't even afford to do that. Cedric get engaged on the middle.
This is bad for Corki, but not bad enough. He just gets out of there. The support from Janna too strong, and that equalizer leaves so much to be desired as Antihero fluffs his lines once more. This time, that's going to mean there's a bit of breathing room for Faculty. They're making a move for this mid turret.
I'm so confused because the QSS was used by Sedge and it completely mitigated the ultimate damage on Abuelino. Why not have Panda pop the Crescendo first to blow that? Or Orion ulti Shockwave going to come in, going to pick up Antihero very quickly, and this will be a free inhibitor, if not more.
This is bad news for the Wolves. Of course, with the Rumble down, it's 5 vs 4 as it is. They're going to be making a move. There's a huge wave that's about to be enhanced by that Baron buff, as obvious Flag and Drag's in there to wrap this one up. They're going to be going for that inhib as well, and it's looking pretty rough for the Wolves side at this moment in time.
It is here. Second inhibitor going to fall. Looks like they might continue to push in. They still have 20 seconds left here. They're still relatively healthy as well. Maybe even going for that bottom lane if they want to face tank it up here, but instead it looks like looks like they might actually wrap around towards the bottom lane. I was curious because they don't have Supermans pushing just yet from top and middle, and they can potentially face tank this turret, but again, you don't want to get engaged on. You know that Warwick has ultimate back up again. You know that obviously Sona has Crescendo still available, so you have to play very carefully. Yeah, you have to play carefully, but I mean, we have seen this Baron buff used. This is probably the best example that I've currently casted of how you pick up a Baron buff and they go from a team that were probably in the lead, and there was no doubt about that, to a team that's just taken 2 inhibs. I mean, that is the true power of Baron buff. It's I mean, what would make a snowball better? I suppose more snow. So it's just, all it does is it just it adds extra snow to them. Here comes the Crescendo though, and they're looking to go in. They're going for Mountain here. They're going to burst down instantly here, so they get the John out of the equation. Buddy, they're going to go down as well here. The Equalizer finally coming in successfully, but Zao knocks 2 into the wall, and that will allow them to pick up another kill or 2 here. As you can see, Corki picking up a triple here. Zao still taking up the turret. Doesn't care. He's Gnar. He's having a hard time running away from this one, but here we got Cedric diving in the back line, looking for Antihero, looking for the quadra kill, and it looks like he won't pull it off, but nonetheless, they'll get the inhibitor. Surrender comes out of the Wolves, and in fact, here going to go up 1-0 now here in this best of 3. A convincing 1-0 as well. Top performance from the Faculty side, and I mean, credit where it's due. I did not have a kind of one standout player. I think there were 2. Both Corki and Gnar, 2 fantastic performances from 2 individuals, as of course Zio and Cedrian. But they're going to be happy with that one. They're going to be looking to wrap this one up in 2, of course, as you can see. Not particularly, no smiles on the Faculty side yet. They've got to kind of get down to business and start thinking towards map number 2. Well, they kind of just outpicked him. I mean, yeah, you have a Warwick, but you saw it completely counter with the QSS. You saw, obviously, John doing a good job of doing that as well. And when it came down to split pushing, a Gnar and a Rumble, like, Rumble has to get way too close to the wave to get to the back lines to really do much to clear it out, and that should be perfect damage. You can see, move it right behind them, give them some strategy here. Obviously, ex-Dragon War player, ex-LCS team, and well, it looks like what he's brought to the team has really helped out. You know, we think about Faculty, they looked good last season, obviously won, but they didn't look this good. And I think a lot of teams out there where you have, crowd control, playing ducks to come up after this have to be careful of Faculty if they want to be able to have a chance to win into the grand finals. Yeah, no doubt Faculty are. They're expected to be around the finals somewhat. That wasn't us. That wasn't us. It'd be strange if that was us, but we're much better looking, aren't we, Jason? Yeah, that's it. I think so. Yeah, maybe one of us. Just you. Oh, that's so kind. Just you. No, but all said and done, that was our first game of the day. Pretty inspiring, I think. We know we're going to be seeing a lot of Faculty if they continue to perform as well as they did just there. But Wolves, there was a glimmer of hope. I think there was no doubt. At that early game, I was like, okay, they have a Warwick. He's got 6. This is where the magic's going to start happening, and it didn't. There was very little, maybe perhaps a little spark, but nothing particularly exciting. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate for them. Maybe next time they'll be able to do a little bit better here, obviously come into their next game. It's obviously not over just yet. It is going to be a best of 3 here. Don't really expect Warwick to be picked, though. Wasn't too effective. It was going to be getting, yeah, you get a couple of kills and get first blood, but if you can't really build momentum off of that, it's not going to get you anywhere. But guys, we'll go a quick little break here. When we come back, game 2, we kick it off here between Faculty and the Wolves. Don't go anywhere.